they're going to do pretty much the same thing, even though they might have changed offensive coordinators and changed quarterbacks. The quarterback's been playing already. And the OC, he's been in the program, in the system, and you have a coach and Coach Roach that he's going to run the football. I don't care who the OC is. He's a head football coach. And they're going to run the football. They're going to be in manageable third down situations, third down, 2 to 4. How do you do those things? By running the football. So we better get our stuff ready to go and be physical, be tough at the point of attack. We need to tackle extremely well. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough game. If you're in 3rd and 3 the entire ball game, there's a good chance you could be in trouble.
Vance, what do you think of their skill talent? Just watching them all guys like Warren and Lazarus. It seems like they've got some guys who can play at a lot of other places in the league.
That some guys could play any place in this conference. You know, they gave us a headache last year. They were a matchup nightmare because of their size. You know, they have big receivers. And that's one reason why in recruiting a year ago we tried to go out and sign bigger defensive backs just because of that reason. When you 6'6" and 6'4" to wide receivers, you want to be fast. Just think about it. If it's a jump ball and you 6'6" going against 5'11", who should win that battle? 6'6". If you're in the red zone and you 6'4", 6'5", going against 5'10", who should win a jump ball? 6'5". And so we're trying to get bigger to match up with our states of this conference, and that is a concern. The matchups, because of size and physicality, you know, are the guys that we have to go against in this game.
They give a lot of people trouble, though. What do you think the reason is for Iowa State just competing the way they do?
It's easy. They know how to run the football. When you can run the football with success, and they have done that this season, you're going to be in most ball games. They have moved the ball on everybody they played. Why? Because they run the ball and they run it downhill. They have the quarterback run game that we seen from K-State last week. Quarterback, counter, power, stretch. Then all of a sudden you think it's a run. They have a pass off the same action. So off of one formation, we have to defend 4 different plays. And that's very difficult to do at times. All of a sudden, I'm a post safety. I'm coming down for the run. I should be in a post, and it's a pass. So they do a tremendous job with the things that they do.
Do you go back and study the offensive coordinator at previous jobs, or you just figure basically they're going to do what they do?
You know, at this point in time, when you make a change, you know, during that week, they can't change that much. I mean, again, it's what the head coach wants to do, and he's going to run the football, and that's what we're going to see. I don't think you're going to see much of a change, maybe a little bit more quarterback run, because he is a pretty good athlete with the ball in his hands. We need to do a great job of containing him.
Coach, do you ever miss Caleb Blewett on the defensive side of the ball, and how impressed have you been with his sort of early transition to offense?
You know, I miss seeing Caleb in the defensive line meeting room. You can go in the defensive line meeting room. He's a guy that's very vocal, calling out formations down and distance, and he was a big asset to some of our young guys like Immunity Hugh and those type of guys. When he left the room, we kind of missed a little bit of that attitude. I am so happy to see him have success on the offensive side of football. I mean, he is an excellent blocker. To see him catch a couple of balls and get him going, I think it's a great thing for this football team. And you know, his nickname is North End because we're both from Beaumont, and I keep saying North End people are South. Nothing against the Beaumont North End, but it's just the truth. I'm from the Pearl Orchard, just to let you know that.
Is your defensive line playing the best it's played all year?
Right now they are. You know, we are healthy right now. We're playing too deep. You can see Coach Haley at certain times, he'll put in 4 new fresh bodies. And that's key in any ball game. If you can get to the fourth quarter when the game is close and your guys have only had, you know, 35 snaps, they have a chance to be fresh, play hard, play smart, and give you a chance to win a ball game.
Along those lines, what do you think of both Shiro and Nashawn and how they've been?
You know, Nashawn has been a starter for us, and you know he missed a lot of last week in practice. He was sick, and I think that showed in the game a little bit. Shiro was nicked up, I think, going back to the Oklahoma game, you know, with a knee. But both those guys right now are healthy. They're ready to go. Shiro gives you that physicality that you need. I mean, he is compact, he's strong, he's explosive. Where you look at Nate is more athletic, a good space player, can drop in coverage, and a good pass rusher.
Malik, okay? Malik, all right?
Well, Malik is ready to go. You know, last week he was also down sick. He missed about 2 days of practice. But he's out there full go, and he's ready to go.
Vance, the last couple of games, he's looked like he's thrown some new stuff out there, and heard some people call him cheetah. Is that a new defensive alignment that you've put together recently?
We still running our defense, and all we're doing right now, instead of playing with 3 linebackers. We're playing with 2 linebackers. We put a defensive back in for a linebacker. All the down guys are the same. And that's all it is. We go more or less to a dime package and third down situation to have more speed on the football field.
And you're using that extra DB to blitz, right?
Yes, Duke is a pretty good blitzer. And we found ways to bring him and make plays. And when you look at any offense or defense across this country, you look at who can be a playmaker. And Duke has been a playmaker for us. You put guys in position who can make a play to make a play. It's not just about scheme. It's about finding the right guys to be productive for you. You know, we talk about our quarterback swoops right now. We found something that he can do, and guess what? He's doing it extremely well, and that's what coaching is all about.
Coach Norvell talked a little bit yesterday about how he felt like the defense has been playing so well, helping them out on offense. But when they're on offense, able to kind of grind the ball out, run the ball, how much is that helping you guys on defense as far as having some time to recuperate, all that?
I love it. You know, I go back to what my father said and some other coaches I've been around. The best way to win a game is to keep your defense on the sideline because they can't beat you. And our offense, the last several games, have run the ball extremely well. You know, against Oklahoma, I think we're right at 300 yards rushing. Last week, we were close to, about 250. It's ground chuck, and what that means is that their offense is on the sideline. You're eating up the clock. You know, I think in the first quarter last week, time of possession was greatly in our favor. And now we're a lot fresher on defense, and we've had a few more 3-and-outs or 4 and 5-and-outs. And because of that, you can get in the fourth quarter where your offense is being physical, your defense is fresher. It goes hand in hand. I mean, it's offense, defense, special teams. You need to do a great job in all of it. Now, you know, if you're in a spread offense and you scoring in 45 seconds where your defense is giving up a lot of points because they're going to be tired. And you see that in this conference, for example. We have probably the most explosive offenses in the country. Texas Tech is averaging 550 a game. Baylor is 700 yards a game. TCU is 575 a game. And you look at their defenses, they're all struggling a little bit because their offense scores so fast. Your defense is back out there without any rest and no time to make adjustments. And that's what you get into with these style of offenses.
Coach, you look at Holton and Devontae, they're cover guys, but they're hitters. Did you know that you're going to get the physicality and toughness in these guys as complete DBs?
You know, when you go out and you recruit guys that are 6'2" and 6'3", part of what you're recruiting is the physicality they bring to the game. You know, we know they had good cover skills, but when you watch these young guys in high school, they play offense, they play defense, so you can see it all. You see how athletic they are and how physical they are. And Devontae right now is 200 pounds. Holton Hill is 192 pounds. I think that Deshaun Elliott, he's sitting at 205 pounds. We have big guys. Now, when Pat Moore gets through with those guys in a year, they're all going to be 200 plus. Coach Strong keeps saying right now he's going to move them to linebacker, but we're not letting that happen. You know, we need to be big and physical in the back end. But what we recruited is physicality back there. And sometimes we don't see it all because they are young, but they're heading in the right direction right now.
Vance, you mentioned Deshaun, and Coach Norvell was talking yesterday. They've challenged some of the younger guys on offense that haven't played a lot to step up kind of down this last stretch of games. What do you tell guys like Deshaun Elliott, P.J. Locke that haven't played a ton on defense the last couple of weeks to get them going for the stretch run?
Special teams. You want to play, be great on special teams. Everything starts there. And I had a chance working with Urban Meyer for him as a head coach and also assistant coach. And one thing that he brought to the table, and Lou Holtz and Earl Bruce All, is that if you want to play for this football team, okay, get on special teams. Show us that you want to make a contribution to the team. And that's where it starts. If you can't play special teams, then you can't play defense for us. And those guys, Deshaun Elliott, P.J. Locke, Chris Boyd, Wheeler, all those guys, they've been really good special teams players for us. So guess what happened to them right now? They're starting to play for us a lot. And you can expect to see Vaccaro and P.J. Locke and Deshaun Elliott playing more. And that's the best thing about it. They fresh. We got a chance to rest Jason Hall and Dylan Haynes and get those guys in there and bring a whole different mindset to how those safeties are going to play.
Heard that you are a homecoming opponent for Iowa State, and you work for TCU. What's that about?
That tells you what people are thinking of at this time. I mean, the worst thing about it, it's also on Halloween. You know, it's homecoming and Halloween. You know, and they trying to tell us right now that we're patsy. That's how I look at it. So they invited us up there for Halloween night. You know, we're going to see all kind of masks. They're going to have great cookouts. You know, the state of Iowa is known for pork. You know, I wish that I could be a fan. I bet they're going to have some great pork chops grilling out there and some ribs. I would love to be sitting there with those fans, but I have to go to work and find a way to help our guys win a game.
You don't have a costume, you're not gonna dress up.
I'm going, hopefully I can dress up as a coach. That's what I'm hoping to be come Saturday night.
Vance, there's been a couple, you know, just articles here and there that have mentioned you as a possible candidate for some of the head coaching openings that might come up later this winter. What, do you have aspirations to be a head coach? Is that something that you think about possibly doing? Do you have maybe a window if you want to be a head coach? Where do you sit on that?
My biggest aspiration right now is trying to find a way to get this football team ready to go and find a way to beat Iowa State. And that's the only thing I think about. I've learned a long time ago, your best job is a job you have and be the best of what you can be right now. I don't look ahead. You know, you guys asked me this about other things. You know, I think last week about, well, get this team to a bowl game. As I told you then, I had one goal. My goal is to get the team ready for the game we had to play. The head coach has to think about those things. My position right now, I'm trying to find a way to get the best out of this football team, our defensive players, to give us a chance to win one practice at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, one game at a time.
Peter Jenkins says that when Chris Boyd gets on the field, he might talk more than anything else. He said he might be, instead of being Quandre 2.0, he might be Quandre 4.0. Is he that type of boisterous type of kid?
He is. I mean, I love me some Chris Boyd. I mean, he brings excitement all the time. And that's what you have to have. Football should be fun. As hard as these guys work on game day, I love the way he plays because he goes out there and he wants to make a play. He wants to get out there and play on every snap of defense. He's in my hip pocket on the sideline. Coach, I'm ready. Just put me in, Coach, I'm ready. I said, just calm down. I'll get you out there. And that's how you're going to turn the program around with the Chris Boyds of the world. He'll go out on special teams and do whatever you ask him to do. He'll go run a play on offense and be a scout team player, whatever it takes to help us be successful. That's Chris Boyd. And we need more guys like Chris Boyd on this football team.
How you play better on the road? You didn't have much luck at TCU or Notre Dame.
Play better defense. You can't give up big plays on defense. You go back to Notre Dame and to TCU, we gave up big play after big play after big play. Notre Dame, we gave up third down and long 7 times. You can't do that. You need to be effective on third down and get off the football field. We need to tackle better. And when we do have coverage, make a play on the football. We have to be confident to be aggressive when the ball's in the air to think it's our ball. They're going to throw the ball. And that's what they do. When they do throw the football, be in position and go and make a play.
Vance, what have you been seeing from Bryce Cottrell? He was a guy whose name was very prominent in the spring, maybe a little bit quiet to start the season. Has he done something in your eyes to elevate his level?
He's grown quite a bit this year. You know, last year he played a backup role. And as the season has gone on this season, he's playing more and more for us. He's actually one of our better pass rushers. One-on-one, he can beat a lot of offensive tackles in this conference. And you've seen more of him this season. In the last 2 games, he's played quite a bit. And you're going to see him playing quite a bit in this ball game because he's very athletic, he's very quick off the edge, and he can be a matchup, a problem for an offensive tackle. So we're going to turn him loose and let him go make some plays for us.
But you talked about how, happy you were when, in the first series against Oklahoma, how they hit the quarterback and, how your defense reacted. Then Jason Hall makes a huge hit this past week. Are you liking the way these guys are getting after the quarterback and how aggressive they're being?
It's always an exciting thing. It goes back to is we're trying to pressure. We pressured early on in the year, and we were very successful. As a matter of fact, we were awful. Let's be honest about it. We've gotten better. We've gotten more confident. The kids are believing now. We had a lot of young kids out there running around. They weren't sure. Now they look at each other, and they know that this guy's ready to play. This guy's going to get his job done. They're starting to believe in themselves. They're starting to believe in their teammates. And you see a lot more confident team. If an offense makes a play, they're not dropping their heads right now. They feel like as long as they don't get in the end zone, we have an opportunity to go out there and make a play and get the ball back for the offense. And that's what you've seen in the last 2 ball games, and we're hoping you see the same thing Saturday night.
I know Jeff just asked you about your coaching future and situations, but Coach Strong's name's always thrown out there now, Coach. How is he different? Does his phone ring more often in team meetings, or you want him to be here? I can tell.
Well, his phone is always wrong. I go back to working with him in Florida. I know it's 7 a.m. in the morning. He used to call his two daughters to make sure they're up and going to class, how they were doing. And guess what he still does today at 7 a.m. in the morning? Even though Haley's here at the University of Texas, he calls her. He calls Hope. So those are the phone calls he makes, and those phone calls he takes in every meetings all the time. He talks to his wife about 5 or 6 times during the day to see how she's doing. So the phone calls he's made over the past 7 years been together, he's making the same phone calls now, so nothing has changed whatsoever.
Vance, how close are you to getting Hager back, and also what's the latest on Ed Freeman with his shoulder?
Hager is a very interesting guy. Last week he had a boot on and he told me he was ready. So when he says he's ready, I just look at him and shake my head. You know what? He is Mr. Halloween himself. He has a mask on every day. Son, you are not ready. You know, yesterday he was out there practicing for the first time in a while, and he was working with the second team defense going against the first team offense. He full speed ahead, and he hit our quarterback. Like I said, he is Friday the 13th live in Austin, Texas. That's Mr. Hager right now. But he's back. He's ready to go, and he has a good chance of making a travel squad. And he's begging Coach Jones to put him back on the kickoff team. He's the type of guy, if you say if it moves, hit it, that's my man right there, Mr. Hager. I love me some Hager.
Is Jason Hall a two-hit wonder, or is he playing a lot more consistent?
You know, this past ball game is probably the best he's played since he's been here. And it's really the best he played this year. You know, last year he was surrounded by a lot of seniors. This year he isn't. So he was probably more consistent in the last ball game. And that big hit he had on the first play of the game, that's the first big hit he's actually had this season. And we need to see more of that out of him because that's what he can bring to the table for us.
All set. Did you have a trick-or-treating strategy when you were a kid?
You know, it was a different era back then when I was a kid. Back then you can go to any neighborhood, to any home, and it was safe. In today's age, it's a different era. You don't know what's out there. You know, if I had a son right now, I have to be honest, if I didn't know the neighbors, he's not going trick-or-treating. You know, it's a scary situation out there in our country right now. For me to say that, it's the truth, but it's sad.
What was your best costume?
You know, that's top secret. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. You know what? I had several costumes back in the day, and I won't let anybody know what they were because I hear about it on Twitter. I know my man Kurt right there is going to have it on Twitter, what I had for my costume, so I'm not going to. Batman and Robin weren't around when I came through, okay? So, you know, you can't say that. I love.
People want to know.
That's a good thing. I want to know, too. You know, at 57, you forget a lot of things back in those days, so my amnesia has come back. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great day today.